My guest today, an American stand-up comedian, motivational speaker, former U.S. Army soldier, began his comedy career at the Comedy Store in L.A., doing an open mic in 2009, my old stomping grounds. Since gone on to perform comedy and give motivational talks internationally, featured in movies and documentaries. He's a true patriot and hero. We'll get into his military background in a second. It's Bobby Henline joining us. Thanks for joining us, Bobby.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Nick.
I saw you on Fox News, and I said, man, what a story.
I don't know what Trump said, but I'm sure he didn't call me a loser. I didn't hear him call me a loser. Stop using my image.
The man you just saw is Bobby Henline, an Iraq War vet who did 4 tours of duty and is the lone survivor of an IED blast in 2007. You'd think his heroic service would earn him some respect from the left. But instead, they're using him as a pawn to try to hurt the president by pushing now a widely disputed and anonymously sourced story from The Atlantic that alleges that President Trump made disparaging remarks about our fallen heroes.
I found that very hard to believe, and they were using you as a pawn, sort of, and you spoke
Yeah, I mean,
up.
that was something that supposedly said 2 years ago. I mean, so 2 years later, now they want to bring it up. And then they want to use my face, and I had no idea what was going on. I just friends on social media sent me messages and text messages say, "Hey, did you see this photo? You know what's going on here?" So I did. I did what every adult would do. You know, I threw a temper tantrum, stomped my feet, said, "Take it down." I mean, but it happened again the next day, and then so I stomped my feet again. They took it down. The third day, like, this is enough. Like, because the first day had me and a couple other veterans on it,
right.
And then the third day was just my photo saying, you know, Trump called him a loser. I'm like, what? This is crazy. So that's when I said, all right, this is enough. I can't stop playing defense and go offense and just get the word out there.
How can they? I mean, after what you went through, I was going to get into. If you don't know Bobby's military history. He signed up in 17 years old in 1988. He was in the Gulf War, then retired, and then came back after 2011 and to serve his 3 more tours in Iraq. And his Humvee hit an ID. 4 other soldiers were killed along with that were with Bobby that day. And I mean, just that alone, they think they'd show you some respect. How friggin' low. I just, the one thing Trump has done since he became president is expose these people for just how anti-American they are. To treat somebody like you or anybody like that is just appalling to me.
And they just grabbed something out of the air. You know, they just went through social media like a wounded veteran, just grabbed a picture, not knowing anything about me or the other guys they used in the pictures. They don't know anything about our background, what our history is, what happened to us. How are we doing mentally? Are we having issues right now? You know? Any one of us could have been having a bad time. I could have been having a bad time, having suicidal thoughts. And the next thing I know, I see the president's calling me a loser. I mean, that could have been the straw that broke the camel's back. It'd be really dangerous just throwing people's photos out like that.
That's a great point. I mean, what was your? I'm guessing, since you're, you know, I'm pretty sure you're a Trump vet. What was your initial reaction that this is total bullshit, right?
Yeah, it's just total bullshit. It's high school rumors. No one had any proof in it, you know. Undisclosed sources. No, I mean, if something like that, it's not a life or death thing. They're not afraid of their life. It's just hearing they heard something like that. Just say it. This is me. I heard it. But, you know, Bolton debunked it. He was there, and he don't like Trump. And he even said he didn't hear him say it. You know, General Kelly's assistant said, no, it didn't happen. But then they still want to make these memes and then use a wounded veteran's face is just so wrong.
Yeah, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I mean, you know, they never surprised me on the left, but
you know, I always hear about this fake news stuff. Fake news. I mean, we hear about it all the time, and then I'm like, oh my god! I wake up one morning, like, there it is. There's proof. That's my face. It's crazy.
You were part of it. I mean, how much more?
Yeah.
And yet, Bobby, people are still going to vote for these. I can't fathom. We have really all this turbulent times in the last year or so. Well, since Trump came into office, he has really exposed how much that they hate this country. I mean, that's
but and I don't know why they don't believe it when you can see it. I mean, I just saw an article today about Pamela Harris visiting that guy who got stun gunned. He had sexual assault charges, And then he goes to reach for the knife, so they shot him. She's visiting him in the hospital, hoping he gets better.
I didn't even know that. I'm glad I didn't. I would have lost my shit.
Right? I just read that today. It's insane.
Did you see, Bobby, did you see her, I guess her little tweet yesterday where she had kind of a Freudian slip where she said a Harris-Biden administration? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yes. She said a Harris-Biden administration, which says everything about where they're headed. I'm a little nervous. I mean, look, you've seen combat up close. I mean, you're probably more relaxed than us being home, but I mean, I think we're in trouble. If Biden wins, we're definitely in deep shit as far as this country. If Trump wins, there's all kinds of rumors out there. They're already planning an insurrection, and I'm talking like a military insurrection. How do we handle that?
Ready, because I mean, look what they're doing right now with all these violence in the cities and stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, how do we handle that? I mean, we need all the Bobby Henlines we can get.
Right? Yeah, but it's going to take up arms, and there's going to be private citizens that are just tired of this shit, and they're going to grab their own ARs and get out there and protect their own cities.
Yeah, I bought one a couple of weeks ago because I really, me and Colin Quinn, a good comedian buddy of mine, we've been saying for about the last 2 years, this shit's coming, but I didn't think it would get here this fast. I think whenever the election is, a month away or a couple months away, we're that close to seeing some serious domestic violence going on. And I think I saw a military guy, Bobby, online. He was out in California. He was speaking to some city officials. I don't know if you saw this guy. He was Hispanic, I think. And he laid it down for them. They all had their masks on. And he said, I would wear my mask if I was doing what you were doing with the American public. And he said, we're being good citizens right now. And this guy was a veteran, too. He said, but you know what? He says, we're being nice right now, but we're organizing. If you guys don't cut this shit out, that's what I mean. Yeah. We're going to need your leadership. You've done enough. You've done enough, goddammit. But what do you think of all that? I mean,
It's scary, but it seems like where it's going. That's what we're going to have to do. I mean, you're going to need the National Guard. You're going to need citizens. They're going to stand up, and it's going to be a battle. It's definitely going to be a battle, but the other side has no idea. They're not organized. They're kids and stupid idiots throwing rocks and fires and. We got trained professionals that have been there and done that.
That's what I say. I see them, I get nervous. Then I watch them and I go, are you shitting me? I mean, like the president said, Portland or wherever, he said, we could have had that under control in a half hour. It took them, they're still rioting every day.
Because the law enforcement's hands are tied, so they can only do so much. But you get private citizens pissed off enough, then we're going to retaliate with even better than what they got.
Yeah, that's exactly.
They don't know what to do.
That's exactly right. Now you're speaking motivationally. You're a stand-up comic, and I watched a clip here that we're going to put in post.
Yeah, I'm cheap. I'm really cheap. Like, I'm retired military, trying to be a comedian. There's not a lot of money there. Like, I'm so cheap, I expect a discount in my cremation. It's rough. Economy. I'm on a tampon budget. I'm always in the red and hanging by a string.
And you're very funny. And what was that like going on the first time on stage?
Well, that was all to prove to my occupational therapist that I can't do stand-up comedy. Like, she's like, I'm funny at the hospital, funny with the other wounded veterans. We get it. We're using humor to heal and get through all this shit.
Yeah.
And the pain. But she's like, you should really try it. I'm like, no. So I was going out to LA to do a surgery out there and talk to a doctor. And she's like, my sister's out there in LA. Just, call her. She'll know a place you can try it with Mike. So I call her sister. So I made a pinky promise that I would try this. If I get her to shut up and stop bugging me. Like, I'm going to prove to you this is not going to work. And then sure enough, her sister says, hey, 2 hours ahead of time, you go out to the Comedy Store, you sign up with 40 other people, and you cross your fingers and hope you get picked. So, of course, I'm hoping I don't get picked. But I get picked, and I get my 3 minutes, and nobody laughed. But it was healing for me just to get it out. And one of the other comics actually gave me a compliment on one of my jokes about acid reflux. I thought, okay, well, that's neat. It's kind of a throw-out idea. It wasn't really planned in the joke. And I said, that gave me an idea. So I went back to San Antonio, and I started to go to open mics 3 nights a week, just writing stuff. And trying to make, doing the self-deprecation stuff that I do and
Right.
getting the word out there. It's good therapy.
Of course it is. And you and I have a lot in common because that's sort of how I got into it. I was living with a kid right after college, a close friend of mine in Boston. He thought I was the funniest person in the world, and he kept calling me a pussy for not going to open mics. And we almost came to blows one day. And
God.
just like that. And I said, fuck it, I have to prove this guy wrong. And I went on. And what's funny is people talk about, that must be the scariest thing in the world. But after what you had been through, I mean, does anything scare you? Seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
seriously.
if I bombed on stage, I've been through worse bombs. I'll be all right.
That's a good way of putting it. And now let me ask.
Yeah. I mean, no matter where I go to Walmart, whatever, I get stared at. So it wasn't that big of a deal to go up there. Now, if this happened before, I'm not a big speaker. I don't like to be in front of people like that.
Yeah.
I probably would have never done this. But since I was getting stared at no matter where I was, that made it a little easier to go up there and just talk about it and get that elephant out of the room, talk about it.
Well, let me tell you, Bobby, it's been a pleasure, man, to have you on the show. When I saw you on Fox, and we can't thank you enough, whether you guys want to hear it or not. And what's coming up next? I know you have an organization, charity organization called Forging Forward.
Yes.
With the
we just got Forging Forward started right before the pandemic hit, so it kind of put us back in the law. But as we're climbing back out of this stuff, we want to get the foundation going again, and I'm teaching other veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families an outlet, like bringing them together from camaraderie, and then teaching them an outlet, whether it's painting, writing. I like to write poetry, comedy.
No kidding.
I write songs. So we want to teach them these outlets that they can use when they're having a hard time.
Is there a website you want to give out or anything that the people can donate?
ForgingForward.org is the website. You can check it out and see what we're doing.
Okay.
All helping with suicide prevention. All that stuff helps.
And I haven't done comedy since like the end of March. I've been focusing on this, but I'm going out like I'm actually nervous. But I would love to some night maybe we can work together, or or have a beer.
Yeah,
because
it'd be a blast.
You make me proud to be an American, man. Seriously. Yeah. Well, we'll have fun, and believe me, I won't be shy about making fun of you. I can be a real dick like that. All right, Bobby, we appreciate it, man. And good luck the rest of the way, man. We appreciate your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it.